You're welcome back. Well, as the first quarter of 2022 comes to an end, I mean, just a couple of months ago, we said Happy New Year. But it's a good time to take a look back at the economy for that period and possibly project on some possible trend for the second quarter. We have doing that with us, the Chief Executive Officer of Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprises, Dr. Muda Yusuf. Good morning, Dr. Yusuf. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
This morning. Yeah. So let's have your view. I know you sent out your release, and we see that you're concerned about the issue of insecurity, the issue of course, hiking food prices, the issue of FX is still in the front burner. So give us a summary of your observations for the first quarter.
Well, the first quarter was characterized by quite a number of challenges. And unfortunately, these challenges seems to be escalating, you know. First is the issue of insecurity. Because as an investor, you need to be alive to do business. If there is a very high risk to life, then, of course, it has very serious implications for investment. And the security situation seems to be deteriorating, especially with what is happening around the country. There are two major aspects to this. First is the aspect of insecurity around particularly the northern part of the country. These attacks, kidnapping, all sorts of issues leading to the destruction of properties, loss of lives, and all sorts of attacks. And unfortunately, these terrorists or bandits, as they call them, are getting bolder by the day. And what we are seeing is that even the security agencies appear to be more on the defensive rather than being on the attack. So this is a major issue, not just for lives, which is, of course, more important, also for investment. The second component of this is what is happening to the oil and gas sector. The oil and gas sector, even though we talk about diversification, GDP being diversified and all of that, that sector is still very critical to the survival of this economy. From the point of view of foreign exchange, and from the point of view of revenue, and from the point of view of investment. We have seen what insecurity had done to that sector over the last decade. But it seems to be getting progressively worse until, of course, recently when we saw a major step being taken. You see what has happened to the issue of oil theft. All manner of percentages have been bandied around, but the reality is that a significant proportion of what we are producing is being stolen. And it seems
oil theft is getting more attractive with the, the surge in oil prices.
Oil price, yeah. And we are seeing a very strong cartel. And it has been alleged that even some of the security agencies are also part of this. So this is a very, very disturbing situation. That is for the upstream. Now, if you look at the downstream, I mean, look at what is happening to the oil bunkering, illegal refineries, and all of that. Almost a case of almost complete breakdown of law and order in part of the oil-producing areas. So, from the point of view of investment and the impact on the oil and gas sector, and from the point of view of what is happening, especially in the northern part of the country, terrorism, banditry, attack on airports, on trains, all of these things have very serious implications for investment. So that is one major thing that is of concern to the entire business community, which we expect the government to do something differently so that you can get some better outcomes. It's not enough to just call the service chiefs, pull them to a meeting, say that people will be brought to book, and before you know, before they even leave the place, another incident has happened. So that is one. The second major crisis, which is related to what the telcos are saying, is the energy cost. Energy costs is becoming a major issue. We have even seen something like being energy insecure, because in major countries talk about energy security. So there's a major risk of insecurity around energy. Look at the costs of diesel, the cost of AGO, the cost of gas, and how do you power an economy?
How much of this is linked to the war in Ukraine?
Well, there's a very strong connection. Of course, the Ukraine factor is a major one, but there's also domestic shortcoming in terms of our capacity to refine. Now, Russia, of course, is a major player in the energy market, both in the petroleum products area and also in gas. It's a major exporter of gas, and also, I think, the second largest exporter of crude oil.
Yeah.
So that makes Russia a major player. So when you see a disruption, because it's a supply chain thing, when supply has been disrupted in that axis, and oil being a global commodity, it of course has affected energy prices, diesel, AGO, and all of that. And unfortunately, which is also a tragedy in terms of our economic management, we are an oil-producing country, and yet we are importing almost 100% of our petroleum products, which is a tragedy. And unfortunately, this has been with us for the past 10 to 15 years. So that is why we are so vulnerable. And you can see the impacts on inflation. You can see the impacts on prices. You can see the impact on the sustainability of businesses. Because there's a limit to which businesses can pass on additional costs to their consumers. There's a whole lot of issue around consumer resistance. So there is the impact on operating costs across all sectors. There is the impact on production costs, particularly on manufacturing. There's also the impact on transportation costs. Because all of these trucks that move around, they are powered by diesel. I mean, you had the chairman of the Telco Association talking about the cost of logistics.
And all of this, of course, reduces available liquidity. So even as you mentioned, if the manufacturers decide to pass on the bulk to the consumers, even the consumers are limited in the liquidity available,
of course,
you know, to purchase some
of course. There's very high consumer resistance. If you talk to any producer, they will tell you. That is why many of them just try to play around with quantity of their products so that they can retain the price. Some of them tinker with the quality of the product so that they can continue in business. And some businesses have even suspended production. Some people in the service sector have cut down on their working hours.
And some are cutting down on staff. So we're talking about unemployment again.
Yes. People are now migrating from diesel generator to PMS generator, depending on the scale of your scale of your operation. So it's a major threat, you know, to the economy and to investment. The third major issue which we experienced in this last quarter is the Forex issue.
I think that's been with us for quite a while now.
It has been with us, but it seems to be getting worse. I mean, when people now talk about parallel market rate of 590, at a time people are even talking about 600. How do we manage that? And unfortunately, we are not seeing any major response to this issue of deteriorating situation with
How is
Forex.
the RT200 of the CBN? How's that going, or is it too early to feel the impact?
The RT200, first, the expectation is that between 3 to 5 years.
Yes.
We are talking of now. Between 3 to 5 years.
So that's like a medium term.
Yes, medium term thing. We are talking of now. I've heard people talk about the need to increase exports and all of that. Yes, that is true.
But what about the manufacturers who produce the exports in the first place?
Exactly. So there are all sorts of issues. So the Forex issue is not getting the right kind of attention.
What kind of attention do you think can solve that? Or at least
there has to be a policy response.
So the people are talking of merging the market, merging, you know, the...
We have said that over and over. But if the policymaker, the CBN, is not convinced, let the president or whoever is in charge of the economy convene a conversation. on how we are going to deal with this. We are having conversation around security. There are some conversation around energy. We should have a conversation around the foreign exchange situation. We cannot continue like this, where the parallel market is now become the default market.
All right,
talk to any
Dr.
producer.
Muda, because we're almost out of time. We're out of time, but I just need to get this. So the economy grew by 3.98% in the fourth quarter of 2021. What's your projection? What figure do you see by the time we see the growth for the first quarter of 2022?
You see, let me tell you, the concern of the average man and the business people is not about GDP growth. Because what you are beginning to, it's not reflecting on the situation. Did we not have GDP growth of 3.98% in Q4? What is the impact on the people? What is the impact on businesses? I just told you all the critical issues. We can sit here and be projecting, yes, oil price is increasing. There's a relationship between GDP growth and oil price. And so what? You go out there and tell the business person or tell the man whose purchasing power has been massively eroded that the GDP is growing. I mean, they will look at you in the face and wonder what you are talking about. We need to address critical issues of inflation, of the weakening purchasing power, of the depreciation in the exchange rate, of the terrible situation with energy. These are the very important things. We begin to talk of GDP growth. Those things are becoming more academic, especially in our current circumstance.
Wow. All right, Dr. Muda Yusuf, CEO, Center for Promotion of Private Enterprises. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we'll take a break. After the break, we'll do commodities market updates. Do join us. This is Business Morning on Channels Television.